read 16 books in 6 months and I wanted to chat about it. Hi everybody, what is up and welcome back to a brand new video. Today's video is a little bit different, as you guys can tell. As you could probably tell, I'm a little bit sick, but I am on the mend. I felt like for a video in July this would be perfect. Most of the books I do own, which is cool, and then some of them I will just have like the pictures of the covers on the screen for you guys to understand what book I'm talking about. Hopefully the weather doesn't change too much and the lighting stays pretty good the whole time. Let's crack right into it. Oh no, the sun is glaring straight down. I have to wait for the sun to come down. BRB. Okay, let's try this literally as soon as I turn the camera back on. Let's just continue rocking on. Before I start, I just want to say I do not know much about like the 4 stars and 5 stars and that sort of stuff. Find a 5 star if I really love it, can't stop thinking about it and want to maybe reread it again. And 4 stars generally what I rate books as. So the first things first is the cheat sheet. This is from Sarah Adams. This book here is about 2 best friends. Is it potentially going to turn into a romance? Nathan, which is the guy, every single person loves him, and Bree, the other main character, is a dance teacher. She wanted to be a ballerina, but unfortunately she had an accident that stopped her from being able to do just that, so she teaches dance. So obviously Nathan is a NFL star, has a lot of money and's come from like a rich background, whereas Bree on the other hand has a little less than that. She was struggling to pay for the dance studio, I believe, so Nate decided that he was going to purchase the entire building for her to, you know, obviously be able to teach the kids. Anyway, she went to this like event and decided to get really drunk. She ends up spilling her darkest secret to a nobody. However, it was a reporter and blasted it all over social media. See, they're hiding a little bit of feelings from each other for each other. Have to figure out if they can be more than friends. A good book. It took me a very long time to read. Her writing style is a little bit different than what I'm used to. Would rate this maybe a 3.5. Give it a read if you want something just lighthearted, but yeah, it took me a little while to get into. The second book I read was You'd Be Home Now by Kathleen Glasgow. I have never read anything like this before. I got this for a Christmas present. From an older sister's perspective, her brother had some substance abuse. He got back from rehab and it kind of all stems from Joey coming back from rehab and how Emmy feels about it. So Emmy is the good sister, then Maddie is obviously the beautiful older sister, and then Joey is the one that struggles with substance abuse. Emmy is asked to kind of spy on the brother, make sure that he is all good, sure that he doesn't go back to rehab. All of that piled on top of her, it does become a balancing act. A tragic event had happened, and that is I think why Joey ended up going to rehab from memory. I really did like the perspective that it was from the sister and not from somebody who came back from rehab. I really liked the way that was written, because you know sometimes siblings do feel a little bit unseen when parents are so heavily focused on trying to prioritize making sure that another child is okay. It was very different. I would rate this a 4. Definitely something I wouldn't normally pick up. Grateful that I did read it, and I am interested to read potentially more of her type of genre and obviously her writing as well. The third book, 4th book, 5th book, 6th book and 7th book that I read are all from the Hopeless series from Colleen Hoover. From my memory is just about a girl. I don't want to say too much obviously because I don't like want to spoil it. Let me just find a synopsis. I loved this series. It was so good. So it's essentially about this girl, her name is Sky. She's been like homeschooled her whole entire life. I think her best friend convinces her mum to like let her have her like senior year or her last year or whatever at a college or a high school. She ends up going and she ends up meeting this dude named Dean, a little bit of a troublemaker. He's had some issues in the past and they end up really liking each other and kind of hanging out a lot more. There is so much like I don't know, because Sky has a past and Dean also has a past, and eventually when they start hanging out and getting to know each other a little bit more, that past comes out. Honest truths are revealed, the horror, the trust, the love, everything kind of comes out in it, and it's just like, wow. I don't think about it often enough to give it a 5-star, but I do give it a 4-star. I give the whole series a 4-star apart from one book. As well as losing hope, they find out kind of the truth, what happened around Hopeless, and then obviously that pathways into, I believe it pathways into Dean's perspective, whereas Hopeless was Sky's perspective. What already is revealed in Hopeless, Dean speaks about his version, and Finding Hope talks a lot about his family and that sort of stuff and how it relates to Sky. Finding Cinderella, now I believe that the first 2 books you could probably read just on their own and not need to read the next 3 books, but Finding Cinderella, All Your Perfects, and Finding Perfect are kind of a little mini series on its own, I think. Finding Cinderella is based around the Dean's best friend's perspective and Sky's best friend's perspective, I believe. I'm pretty sure there's 2 perspectives, but it's essentially how they come and meet each other, the little backstory. The next 2 books I read in the series, and this obviously completes the whole series. This one is All Your Perfects, and this is my least favorite Coho book by far. This is also my least favorite book in the Hopeless series. Don't want to be too shady, but I would rate this probably a 2.53. This relates, what I thought relates to no characters at all. It's a brand new perspective, a brand new book just shoved into a series. Obviously when you read the books you kind of understand how it like incorporates, but essentially All Your Perfects is about a then and now perspective. It starts off with people cheating on each other, always a great way to reel someone in. Then the people that got cheated on, they then obviously got together. They're trying to create their own memories. Something is stopping them, and it's like a make or break in their relationship, and it's really hard to like wrap their heads around, you know, that this could save them or this could also break them. Very, I don't know how to explain it, but you have to read it kind of to understand where this book comes into the Hopeless series. It just definitely wasn't my favorite. Finding Perfect is a very tiny novella. This is literally 83 pages. It's an 83 novella, very short. I read it within like an hour and a half. To me, the perfect way to end the 3 books that I was talking about. It goes back to Six and what is his name? It goes back to Six and Daniel's perspective, and it reels in perfectly with this book. Kind of the perfect ending for the whole Hopeless series, you know. Rest of the crew like Sky and Holder get back together, you know, and kind of chat and kind of just announce what's been going on in their lives and what they've been hiding from everybody. But it's just the perfect kind of way to wrap everything up and be done with the series, because 7 books in a series, is it 7 books? I'm pretty sure it's 7 books. 7? I don't know where I got 7 books. Time to wrap up 5 books, I reckon. This did it perfectly. I was definitely happy. I was definitely, you know, surprised by the ending. I would say a 3.5. Next book is The Promise, Emma Harrington, and I got this for Christmas as well. I never read anything from this particular author. I'm pretty sure it's a then and a now perspective as well, with 2 different people. It says 2 people, 1 unforgettable day, a promise that can never be broken. This book tore at my strings. There was a massive accident that brought these people together. One thing I noticed when I was speaking about this book previously, the boy and the girl had 2 completely different lives, and this is why they never met prior to the accident and why they never rekindled the connection once the accident kind of happened 10 years ago. So the present is 10 years later, and then obviously the back then was 10 years earlier. Yeah, they kind of run into each other, I believe, at the what are those things called where you meet, like a memorial, a reunion, I don't know. Anyway, so 10 years later, and they meet, and then they kind of have a chat about why they've never met each other prior to that 10 years, because obviously a promise that can never be broken. So yeah, they start chatting about it. Their lives are so totally different. I guess they risk everything to potentially be together. Does that work in their favor? It's a good book. I give this a 4. Yeah, I think I read this within like 4 days. And it was winter too, actually. It was a winter book, which I like those. The next book is called Lola in the Mirror. Now, I don't own this. This book took me so freaking long to read. It was a 2-star for me. I just felt like I wasn't smart enough. Felt like I genuinely wasn't smart enough to comprehend what was going on in this book. It was about a girl. She had no name. She was on the run. Her and her mum were on the run. I think she was on the run from like 6 months old because they had a abusive father, I believe. Didn't kind of understand the what's the word when they like play on a lot of stuff. So it's a play for words, like, oh, that's a funny pun or whatever. Like I feel like they were using a lot of, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it, and I'm not going to try. I'm too sick to even kind of comprehend that book at the moment. Not a book I liked. We way too long. I think if I was smarter, I would have enjoyed it and understood it and appreciated it a lot more. Just not something for me. The next one is Check and Mate from Ellie Hazelwood. I feel like the two that I read one after another, my street where I lost motivation to read, because Ellie Hazelwood, Check and Mate, to be fair, I've only read this and Love on the Brain, and I'm pretty sure I DNR Love on the Brain because I haven't picked it back up. I'm on chapter 8 and it's taken me bucket loads of months to read and I'm just not enjoying it. I've definitely DNR'd that for the time being. I might try and pick it up later. Check and Mate was boring. It obviously is about a girl named Mallory. She stopped chessing for a while. Something happened in her family life that stopped her from being able to play chess. Brought back some memories that she didn't really want to remember. Then got given this amazing opportunity and it would kind of help her and her family out financially. She then ends up meeting like the #1 chess player, Nolan, who's incredible at what he does and has been getting like top ranks for ages. She then obviously joins because she needs the money. As time goes on, she struggles to like kind of keep family separated from her chess, so she didn't want to include her family in chess. So yeah, it comes a little bit of a balancing act yet again, kind of about, you know, being the older sister trying to provide for her sick mother. Didn't really enjoy it. Can't even remember half of what happened. I'm gonna give this a 3. The next book I actually do own, but I've lent it out, and it is November 9 by Colleen Hoover. I love this book. I think the more I think about it, I definitely want to give it like a 4.5. It's still not a 5-star, but definitely 4.5. The sun, give me 2 seconds. November 9 is about a girl who has a accident. It's one of those things where I don't want to spoil it again, so let me just find the blurb. November 9 is obviously like a specific day. Meet up every single year. I actually loved that book so much, and I tend to always fall in love with the boys, even if they're bad. I love the sun. I just want to film this video. So Fallon meets Ben, who is an aspiring novelist, day before her scheduled cross-country move. Their ultimately attraction leads them to spend Fallon's last day in Los Angeles together, and her eventful life becomes the creative inspiration Ben has always sought for his novel. But there is a big freaking twist, and it is crazy. 4.5 absolutely for sure. Definitely go and read it. It's heartbreaking. It is honestly heartbreaking. Some of the twists I was so mad at, so sad at for this girl, but then I fell in love, and then I hated, and then it was just an emotional roller coaster for me. I'm interrupting this video because I forgot to add one of the 16 books that I wanted to chat to you guys about. The book that I forgot to talk to you guys about is called The Girl in Trouble by Alex Mercer, I believe. It was like my first thriller, I think, that I've read in 2024. It honestly was not my favorite book in the whole entire world. From my memory, I read this on my iPad, so I don't have a physical book. It was very like choppy. I feel like there was a lot of information that I missed, and I read a lot of reviews as well after I finished the book, and a lot of them said the same thing. I think it is a series. I just haven't decided to go ahead and read any more of the series, but essentially it was about a young girl who disappeared in a little hometown. Now the father of this girl that disappeared was like an absent father. His sister also disappeared for a while in the same town, so it was kind of like a really personal thriller. There was a cop that was quite invested in it all, and yeah, the outcome was not what I expected the outcome to be. But like I said, I feel like I was missing quite a bit of important information that would have helped me kind of piece everything together. It just wasn't really what I was expecting. Nonetheless, I did enjoy it. I just think it would have been amazing had all the information been given to us before it kind of came to a conclusion, and I seem to remember quite a bit. There are some books that I've read through these 16 books that I don't even remember half of what happened, and I seem to remember a little bit about the girl girl in trouble. So that says something within itself. I would rate this probably a 3. Are we going to talk about how big this chunky book is? Magnolia Parks, and there's 5 books in this series. We're gonna just have to do with the changing of the light. Oh, sorry. Magnolia Parks. This is from Jessa Hastings. I have owned these books for quite a number of months, and I gave them to my sister to read, and I didn't know honestly if I would like it or not. Read Magnolia and Daisy one after the other, because I thought in my brain that I needed to read the series one after another in case I forgot. But I do remember a lot of this, and I've read a couple of books after this. So Magnolia Parks is how many loves can you have with one person in a lifetime? Magnolia and BJ have a very, very toxic relationship. So Magnolia likes to date people and BJ likes to sleep with people just to get back at one another. They are rich, successful people that come from, like, you know, big family background, and it's just a life of partying and a life of drama, and I didn't know if I was really keen on it. To be honest, I didn't understand. There was no like end to this. Like, normally I think I like to go into books with the kind of understanding of, okay, what's the plot twist here? Like, there were definitely plot twists here, but it was just kind of like relationship drama. I don't know how to explain it, to be honest. I really did like it. I'm gonna give it a 4 star. She is a very good writer. I'm just not sure if I'm keen on her writing 100%. Oh, how many loves do you get in a lifetime? I guess not with the same person, but it's interesting. It does keep you on your toes and you do want to learn more, but it's not a book that is like wow to me. But I'm not ready to stop with Magnolia and BJ, because I do want to find out what happens in the 3rd book. Then it goes into Daisy Hates. I have to say, I feel so strongly about this. The way that this particular book is written, and I think it's going to be all through Daisy's book, is horrible. Not a big fan of it. So for example, let me show you. See how some books here have like a number, you read it, and then up here there will be like a number attached, so you've got to, like, you know, relate. I don't enjoy it. I'm not a fan of that. Really thankful that it doesn't happen in Magnolia, because Magnolia's got 3 and Daisy's only got 2, so it means I only need to get through one more of that. I think Daisy has got more than just drama. She has a brother who is the most notorious gang lord out there. He ends up getting into what I would say is a love triangle. She ends up meeting another drug lord that she falls really hard for. Her previous boyfriend, I think, is a drug lord as well, or is a part of that lifestyle. But the drug lord that she falls for doesn't answer for her brother, so she's a bit like wary of that. The drug lord that she does fall for obviously loves someone else, so it's a bit complicated. I really do like it because it has obviously the elements of the romance, and it has a couple of elements of drama in that, but it is mainly focused around the drug lord and that life. I think I like that life. Well, sorry, in a book. I think I like learning about it, reading about it. It's a bit different. It's a bit, oh, what's going to happen next, rather than just kind of drama in a relationship. 4 star for this one as well. We are going flat, so let's hope I can finish these 2 books in time. The second to last book I read was Girl Abroad. I definitely think this is a 4 star. This is entertaining, to say the least. It was about a girl who has a very overbearing dad. He's come from a rock star lifestyle, so he is kind of just trying to make sure that his daughter doesn't fall into the same things that he did as a teenager. She then convinces him to let her go for a year in London to study. She ends up doing this like crazy project that even had me interested, but all of her friends and stuff that she meets ends up getting very interested in helping her kind of accomplish the project. She has 2 love interests, kind of like a love triangle. They don't really know about each other. She doesn't have a relationship with any of them. She kind of just dates them. One of them is like a rock star as well, and then one of them is her roommate. She also thinks that she is going to be living with 3 girls, but turns out they're all men, so lying a little bit to her daddy. But yeah, definitely a good book, and I would recommend. I saw Girl Abroad, saw that she was living in London, and there was some love interest that could create a little bit of drama, and I was like, yeah, I'm keen for that. The last book that I read is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Dare I say it is a 5 star? Dare I say it's the only 5 star that I have mentioned, and it is my first fantasy. I loved this world. I loved diving into it. I can't wait to read Powerful, which is the little novella. Oh no, this one's going flat too, so let me be super quick. Powerless is about a girl who is ordinary, living amongst every single other person who has powers. She then saves one of the princes unexpectedly, and then she's thrown into the trial. That is a competition where it showcases the powers. Sorry, you've gone flat. So I'm using my iPhone now. But she essentially has to stay alive, not get caught out that she's an ordinary. And there are plot twists, and it's an interesting book. I love it so much, and I wish you guys could all read it. 5-star from me, and I can't wait to read Powerful. That is every single book that I have read for the 6 months of 2024. I hope you guys have a great day or night wherever you may be. Thank you so much for coming along with me through this journey, and I'll see you next time. Bye.